What's up, everybody? Well, I just realized I forgot to do an intro for this video, so I'm kind of doing it during the Blender test during the CPU, so it might be a little bit loud. But at least there's Kitten. Misty's kind of hanging out with us. But anyway, figured I would do a quick video doing some of the requests from the request videos, or the request video. I didn't do multiple ones of that, just one so far. So figured I would do Blender, CPU and GPU, check the backlight bleed in a dark room, and then run Cinebench on all the different modes with a hardware monitor running to check temps the whole time, and average clocks and all that good stuff. So I think that'll make for a pretty good video. And then most of the other requests are mostly game related, so I'll do all of those separately in individual videos, but I figured I could lump all these together. So once this test's all done, I can do an outro actually, because that's pretty much the last thing on the list before I wrap this whole video up. Alright, someone wanted to see what the screen looked like in a completely dark room to check for backlight bleed, so I've just got my camera freehand, so hopefully it won't be too shaky. But that's pretty much what it looks like in a for a black screen, a black room. We got, it might not show up great on the camera, but we got a little bit of backlight bleed right down in this corner. A tiny itty bitty bit up in the top corner here, and beyond that, I do not see anything coming off the sides. There's nothing coming off the sides. There's no light escaping from the sides of the monitor like some people were reporting. So let's move on to the next request. Okay, starting out, we're going to show you how to make your laptop use the 6800M instead of your integrated graphics. So first thing you want to do is go to Settings, then type in type in that, and it'll go to Graphic Settings. And then you'll come to this screen, hit Browse. You'll come out to this screen stock. So go find wherever your game is installed. We'll just use Diablo 2 Resurrected as an example. Where'd it go? There it is. Click on the EXE. Now add it. Alright, now you'll see it appeared there. Now go to Options. And then click High Performance. Hit Save. And there you go. Now it will always use the 6800M instead of integrated for whatever you put in here. Doesn't matter if it's a benchmark or a game. Okay, next we're going to do Cinebench R23 on all the different window settings. So first we're going to do Windows, just stock, taking this out of the equation. So we're going to run hardware info every time too. So there we go. Let's start. Okay, here's what we got on Windows setting. We got 13,302 for multi-core. Now we can minimize that, and we'll go over and look at all the clocks, average, maximum, and minimum, and all that. And then here's what the CPU got up to temperature-wise, and the RAM and all that. And with that, I would say we can move on to the next setting. Now we're going to move on to silent mode. Close hardware info and reset it. Relaunch it real quick. And now we get started. Okay, here's the result of silent mode. Now this might be a bit slower than a lot of people's silent mode because mine has turbo disabled in silent mode for super low temps. But as you can see, it stays at 3.2 gigahertz. It never goes any higher than that. But look at the chilly temps. You do miss out on a lot of performance though, but your temps stay chilly as hell. And yeah, definitely no throttling. But let us move on. Now we're moving on to performance mode. So again, we've closed out hardware info. We'll relaunch that real quick. Alrighty, here's what we got on performance. We got 12,896. Now let's go look at those temps and clocks. Okay, here's what we got for temps. So we didn't get quite as hot on performance as some of the others, but still no throttling. So let's move on. Okay, now we're going to do turbo. So just like before, we'll relaunch our hardware info. And then we will start the test. Alright, here's the result of turbo. Well, I got 13,775. Here's what we got for clocks and whatnot. And I think this is actually better or the same as I can get with my manual stuff too. Got to 95 and no throttling. So now let's move on and see what my manual settings are. Okay, now we're going to do my manual mode, and here's just the fan speed curve I got set up on the CPU. And here's, I just got everything basically maxed out. This doesn't really matter, but there's my graph for my fans for my GPU as well, in case anybody was interested. Figure that's the perfect time to show that off. So, let's get started. Alright, and here's what I got for manual. Yeah, like I thought, it's basically exactly the same as we got for turbo. And here's what we got for clocks. And then that's temps, and about the same as turbo again. Still no thermal throttling or anything either. But let's move on. Okay, these are the results for the GPU Blender benchmark on the 6800M. I also realized a magnifier does not work when you're doing OBS recordings. But anyway, here's what all the different times are for the benchmarks. And then I figure I'll do CPU too. Alright, and then figured we'd go look at the temps for the GPU. It hit 81 during that whole thing, and averaged 53. And here's what all the other clocks and whatnot were. It did throttle, but only because of power, not because of heat or anything. So, let's move on. Alright, and here's what we got for our CPU on Blender benchmark. Still did pretty respectable, not quite as good as the GPU, but GPUs usually tend to do better at these kinds of things. And then I figure we can go over here and look at all the different clocks and whatnot. Heck, one time we hit 4.6 gigahertz for a little while there. That's cool. Already maxed out at our normal 95.6 and average 94.2. So let's wrap this video up, shall we? Well, alright. Blender got all done. Let everything cool off and quiet down. The way I've got it set up is the fans don't even spin until around 60 degrees on my manual setting. So it can still be quiet and fast at the same time. Anyway, that's besides the point. Time to wrap this video up. We're all done with it. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this small little video, and I did get done doing a bunch of different people's requests. So now it's time to get some of those game requests started. That's going to take a while, but just hold on. I will get to everyone's game. Don't worry. Now that I've got that, I can always go back to that video and just keep checking and making sure I've done everybody's game or request. But anyway, that's about it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and until the next one, peace out, guys.